Specifically for Shabbos.
And Yom Tov.
And Yom Tov. And Yom Tov also.
And Yom Tov, yeah. Eruv is not applicable here because the one Yom Tov, you don't have to make an Eruv.
Right.
You could just carry it. No problem.
Okay.
Wherever you are, you can carry it. Now, there's a third fascinating case in the Mishnah that says, what if it's a well of Ole Regalim? People who come from Bavel to Yerushalayim for pilgrimage for Shalosh Regalim, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. Then Mishnah says it's Kiragli Hamimale. It's like the feet, in other words, it has the limit of the one who drew it. If I drew up a bucket, now this water that I drew, I put it, let's say, in my jar, it's like my feet. Next person gets from the same water, from the same well, it's like his feet. Third person gets from the same well, from like his feet. Look what Gemara is saying. Gemara says 4 lines from the bottom. Lametet Amadal. We shall ole Bavel kiragle memale. And water from the wells of the travelers somewhere between Israel and Iraq, ole Bavel. It's like the person who drew it. Itmar, it was said in Bet Midrash, Mile v'natan lechavero. If I drew water from that type of well and I gave it to my friend. So if I drew it and I appropriated it for myself, there's no question. Now it has my limit. Gemara discusses what if I drew it for you and I gave it to you? Does it have my limits or does it have your limits?
If you drew it,
I drew it.
then it has your limits.
Well, if Gemara asks a question, that means that it's not so posh.
Doesn't the Mishnah say that it belongs?
There's only 2 possibilities. There's a possibility that it's mine, like you said, or it's a possibility that it's yours.
But the well is yours.
Well, it belongs to Ole Regalim.
Oh, to everyone.
To everyone.
Okay.
It's one of those things that in the middle of the desert. I drew it and I gave it to you. Let's say there's one designated guy who says, I'm going to draw for everyone. Like Rivka. You know, Rivka said, I'm going to draw for Eliezer and for all of his camels. So it was also about that area in the world, you know. Aram Naharaim, it's also in Iraq. Question is, now that she gave it to this camel driver, this camel driver, does it go with his limit wherever that camel driver got a hotel room for Yom Tov? He cannot take it more than that. Or is it now Rivka's because she drew it? In the Mishnah it says, whoever drew it, that's his feet. But Gemara doesn't say. Gemara wants to say that it's not so partial. There are certain cases that it's not like his feet. Well, like if I gave it to someone right away, so it says like this: Rav Amar kiragle mishinit malulo. Rav Sheish Tamar kiragle memale. Rav Sheish it says like Mishnah. In this case, also like Mishnah. That once I drew it, it's mine and it's my feet. It has my limit. But Rav Nachman comes and says, it's like the feet that the one who got it, the one for whom I did it.
Is it because he gave it right away? Or?
Right away, yeah. He gave it right away. In fact, not only I gave it right away, I drew it for him. I picked it up. When I was drawing it, I already had in mind
So you had in mind.
to give it to you.
Nice.
Because you were already standing there waiting. I gave it to you. I draw it for you. I don't draw for you. So I go to Rav Sheshet. Let's make a difference that I saw you, that I know that I'm going to give it to you. I drew it for you. Once I drew it, Mishnah says, it's like my feet. According to Rav Nachman, not necessarily. If I drew it for you, if I drew it for myself and I gave it to you, it's like my feet. But if I drew it for you, it's your feet. What could be the logic here?
So you're saying that the water has a possession. That you can possess water.
You could possess anything. I don't know what you mean you could possess water.
That water is possessible.
Of course not. Everything is possessible. We see that even from the first case in the Mishnah, that water is possessible. Even before we get to this case, simplest case, first case. A well that belongs to a private individual has the limit of that individual. Already there, we'll see that water can be possessed.
But hold on, is it talking about the water or the well?
The water, the well is just a hole in there.
The well is the holder that holds the water in place,
Okay.
right? So without the well, there wouldn't be water there, right? The water would just dissipate and evaporate. So is the well what's holding your limit, or is it the water that's in the well? It's not clear from the Mishnah.
No. I
Isn't
don't
a
think.
well just a hole in the ground? You,
Yeah. That's what,
it's not a container.
It kind of is. I mean, it holds the water in place.
It holds water in place. Wells?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
So a well is basically, like the rabbi was explaining, you dig underneath the sand and then there's like
You
a
hit
water
the
layer.
Water table,
The water
yeah,
table,
right.
and then
The
it
water
goes
table.
up.
Then, but the water sits there. It doesn't
No,
continue to go,
No,
right?
it does,
So
it
there's
does.
something
No, it
about the
does, it
limestone or
does.
something
Always
else.
flows, always flows.
So a well has flowing water? If it flowed, it wouldn't sit
No, it
there.
replenishes because there is a surface tension. The water
Yeah.
comes from the water table,
The
comes
pressure,
up,
yeah, right, the pressure.
surface
pressure
tension. You
pushes
take
up.
some water, it rises up more. You
Yeah.
take more water, rises up more.
If it
Take more.
rises, it's not flowing.
no, but it connects to the river.
I know.
What do you mean?
It connects to the other source.
Underground, imagine this, there's underground rivers,
Oh, right.
right?
Those are flowing.
Yeah, you make a hole, now on the underground river, since there's so much pressure underground,
Pushes
that
it up.
it pushes it up. Now that stays, but underneath it keeps flowing.
Oh, okay, fine.
The
Yeah.
pressure.
Not only that, if you take out from the top, it pushes more. You could view this as flowing. Because just as flowing is replenishing water in any given segment
It's
of
not
space.
staying still.
I think it would be staying. It
It's-
wouldn't be
yeah, it's
clean
not staying
water,
same.
like it would be,
Yeah, it would be very dirty
yeah.
water, yeah.
It wouldn't be clean water if it was like in one.
No, no, they had different type of well.
Yeah, it's standing water also, right?
Just standing, just a hole in the ground, and from the rainwater,
We'll collect.
Oh, like a cistern, it's a cistern.
it would fill up,
A drum.
and they would use that also. You see, I make wine. I know how it works. Because when you make wine, you basically press grapes, and you have a lot of chaff, a lot of small little particles mixed in the liquid,
Right.
and they cloud the liquid.
Mhm.
And then you just let it stay. And you come back like a month later, 2 months later, 6 months later,
So clean,
it's clean, it's clear, you can see. And on the bottom there is a sediment.
right.
So what happened? Gravity cleans things. They all just slowly drop to the ground, to the bottom. That's why, by the way, bugs. All grapes have bugs very often. But when you make wine, you don't have to worry about bugs. We never heard wine having problems with bugs. Because good wine always,
Everything
there's
was,
natural filter. When you actually siphon it, you can't just tilt the
you
jar.
agitate the whole thing.
Yeah, you put a tube and you siphon it out slowly until you get like 1 inch above the sediment. Then you stop, and that all goes to garbage. So you get just pure water with pure wine. So same
When
thing.
you suck it out, it's already wine, or is it still like a juice?
Depends on which stage.
When you siphon, it's siphoning.
You siphon it, it's already wine. It
Already
starts already fermenting.
Oh.
But you want to siphon it out to a second container and let it stay there also.
To continue fermenting.
It's continue fermenting and continue sediment. In 2 more months, again, you have certain sediment, and you have to put it in the third container.
It's called distilling, right? So you're distilling.
That's not distilling.
Distilling is when you
Distilling
vapor,
altogether.
right?
Distilling, when you take, let's say, wine or beer, and you heat it up, and it evaporates, and the boiling water of alcohol, boiling point of alcohol
Make it
is
water.
lower than water. Then you actually condense the vapor,
And
and
you collect the condensate.
yeah,
How long does it take the whole process?
Wine?
The wine. 3 months?
Probably longer.
it could become wine. No, it could become wine right away because
Making ethyl liquor.
in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
crushed grapes start fermenting 2
It
weeks.
depends what type of grapes too. no?
Yeah, but it's called it's young wine.
Like old
No, it doesn't.
Russian wine.
Anyway,
You take.
So you make it
Peel.
all, you make it?
Take it off the table.
Yeah.
You gotta show us one.
Mix it with vodka.
Mm-hmm.
Should make
Let
it
it sit
flat.
for 3 months.
Sounds like
I remember
vodka.
my
No,
grandmother used to
no,
do that.
no, but no.
Mhm.
And
Then you
my
take a
mom
syrup,
used
you
to
make a
make
syrup, and you mix it over and then you
the
make
vodka,
liqueur out of
like
it.
alcohol.
Oh,
I remember that she put like a container.
Sounds like a drink.
She,
Yeah,
and she used to light a match. It would-
Yeah, yeah.
You're saying
The
I'm
light up.
entering liqueur, I'm thinking, psh, what are
So
you taking?
strong.
Oh, I'm not
Liquor
fermenting.
And you're
that.
fermenting, and
remember
you have a whole
No.
process, you have a distillery going there.
No, no, no. That's,
Okay.
I was
We had a
thinking
lot of
it's
grains
that,
back
but
in
when
Russia.
I looked at the
Like,
insurance,
back
it
Yeah,
so
no,
much
it's
grapes.
It
I
sounds
still
like,
have to keep
Over
it
here,
here,
like-
airtight.
it sounds like when you take like, pick the cucumbers, you
To
want
buy
to pickle them or
special
something, right?
grapes.
You want to give it
Yeah.
a little bit of a flavor, I got you.
So, but let's go. It says that there's the machloket. The scenario is where I drew for you, and I drew for you, and I drew for you. And now there is a machloket amarayim. Rav Sheshet says, it's mine. It's like I gave you my thing, and it has my limits.
Ragli, the one who's drawing. Oh no, who's receiving?
The one who's drawing.
Ragli is the one who's drawing?
The raglim means like the feet.
Yeah, the one who draws.
There are two possibilities. Kiraglei hamemale or kiraglei mi shenitmalu lo. The one for whom it was drawn. Is it kiraglei mi shenitmalu lo? That's Rav Nachman Shita. Is it like the feet of for the one for whom it was drawn, or is it like the feet of the one who drew? Kiraglei hamemale, like it says in the Mishnah. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
There's two languages. Let's see it again. Itmar. We have 3 lines from the bottom, and first word on line is Itmar. Itmar, mile, he filled it. V'natan lechaviro. And he gave it to his friend. And Rashi explains he actually filled it up for his friend.
Right.
Rab Nachman Omer, Rab Nachman said, Kiraglei mishim nitmalulo.
The
It's
one
like
who's
the feet of the one for whom it was drawn. Rav Sheshet Omer Kiragle Hamemale. Rav Sheshet argues and it says it's like the feet of the one who drew.
Hold on, Rashi says that the spring in the Brisa refers to water that's not flowing, right?
Yeah. That's Gemara before.
The Mishnah speaks of a pool of collected water which does not flow at all.
That's Gemara before, by the way.
Right.
We are next Gemara now.
Ah, okay,
That's Gemara before. That's
We're
Gemara
on the
before.
last lines.
Got it.
You're on the right page.
okay, so we're on this side. Okay.
You want to read that over there in our school? Again, where it says Itmar, it was stated Mile v'natan lechavero. After 2 dots.
The Itmar Nami?
No.
No, I'm gonna
Itmar
reply
Milei,
about-
Milei. Itmar Lemei. Milei.
Itmar, Savar Beira de Shufte.
Before that, paragraph before that.
Maybe it's right, yeah?
What am I missing here?
It should be there.
Maybe the other page.
Milei v'natan
Itmar?
lechavero. Oh, Itmar. Okay, Itmar Milei v'natan lechavero, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Read the English.
If one drew water from one of these water holes and gave it to his friend, and it was his intention to do so when he drew the water, Rab Nachman says, Kiragle mi shenit malu lo. The water is accorded a techum like that of the feet of the person for whom it was drawn. So not of the drawer, of the person who received it.
Good.
That's
Rav
what-
Nachman.
That's
Shita.
Nachman's shita. Rav Sheshet says, Kiragle hamemale. The water is treated like the feet of the person who draws it. Okay,
So where am I looking?
right. So they both have statements. The Gemara explains, "B'mai kama mi pligi."
What are they arguing about? Now, what's the machloket? Mar savar, one holds bira de hefkerahu, that the well of Oler Golem is no one's. Or Mar savar bira de shutfihim, and the other one holds that the well of Oler Golem is everyone's. So the one who holds that it belongs to you, that it's your feet, I drew it for you, he views this well as belonging to all the Jews who have traveled. It belonging to, there's machloket here, does it belong to everyone or it belongs to no one? For all intents and purposes, something that belongs to everyone is also like something that belongs to no one, right?
Okay.
But over here it's going to make it the following difference. If it belongs to everyone, then as soon as I drew it for you, You acquired it while I was picking it up, because there is a kinyan called Yakubov. Once I pick up something more than 3 tfachim off the ground, it's acquisition.
Yeah.
But if I'm picking up for you, I picked it up for you, and you acquired it as soon as I was picking it up. However, if it's hefker,
So you're acquiring it on my behalf.
I'm acquiring. No. Let me change that. I am picking up your water. This is going to come into Brera a little bit. Remember Brera? Brera was if later on it's clear whose it is before. If you ask me to pick it up for you, to draw water for you, and I pick up 3 gallons, that means that I picked from this huge well that has a ton of water in it, right? Through your 3 gallons. I picked your 3 gallons, and then I picked Yehuda's 3 gallons, and then I picked Markil's 3 gallons, and then I gave Brachil his 3 gallons.
But it doesn't.
That's if we view the well as if it belongs to all of us equally. But if it's hefker, no one's, then there is halacha. Whoever is the first one to pick up hefker, he acquires it. So when I picked up this hefker water, it became mine, and I gave my thing to you. So it has my limits. Then I picked 3 more gallons, it became mine. I gave my thing to Yehuda. And then I picked up 3 more. I gave my thing to Rachel, and so on. So if I picked it up and became mine, and I just gave you my thing, then you limited with my fee. If I picked up your thing from the that's if we hold that it's no one's. But if it belongs to everyone of us equally, then I just picked up your thing from the very beginning.
So, okay, so how do we look at it though?
How do we look at it? Depending how you look at it, that's why the halacha is going to be different. According to Rav Nachman, it's like your fee, because he holds that it so happens to be that these wells belong to all the Jews equally. Now it's Chachamim. You see, Chachamim have a right to determine.
Because it's in Eretz Yisrael, is that why?
It's really not in Israel. It's in somewhere between Israel and Iraq, because it's in the middle of the desert.
Right, so how does it belong to all the Jews? That's what I'm saying.
Because the Jews use it, or they dug it.
So Jewish municipality, the Jewish infrastructure, provided that we should own and we should maintain the wells, because all the diaspora people who were in Israel, who were in Babel, would come in 3 times a year to Yerushalayim. There was traffic. So it was like that there was a necessity. Part of our budget, part of the budget of Israel was to maintain these wells, because Jewish people needed them. It could be that the nations, that people who lived in Iraq, they didn't need this. This was in the middle of the desert. Maybe they would use it anyway. Any wanderer was in the desert, he found a well. Of course, be my guest, drink from it. But who was actually, so to speak, interested that they should always be there? It's the Jewish people. See from this Gemara that
Because
Jewish,
they kept doing the Reglim
because they were always traveling
Times a
there.
year, right?
three times.
So you see, we had a big impact.
But there was no temple, right? After the Babylonian.
Second temple.
Oh yeah, those are the Jews that stayed in Babylon.
Yeah.
This is already after Ezra came and rebuilt the second temple.
Yeah. Most of the time, these wells were used when there was a temple and they came to Beit HaMikdash.
You know, why else
But
would they
once
go,
the
right?
second temple was destroyed, they still traveled. They still came to Eretz Israel. People involved. When there was Talmidim walking back, and there were yeshivas here and yeshiva there, and they would still travel. And that's one way we could explain. Or we could explain that even though this Amaroim, Rav Nachman and Rav Sheshet, they lived already post Second Temple. We know that. All Amaroim lived after Second Temple was destroyed. So you could ask, so what are they discussing? It could be that they're discussing the way it was then, when they actually traveled. They're not discussing right now something practical, but conceptual, theoretical.
And they're using different brises and different mishnahs as proof
Mm-hmm.
to supplement their argument.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We don't have Tana talking about this?
We're using the Tanoim. They are using different Braitot and Mishnayot. Look at this, next Mishnah. 8th. We're asking a question. 8th, Rav or Rav Nachman? Rav is going to ask on Rav Nachman. You remember, Rav Nachman holds that the well belonged to all the Jews equally. There is a Braita, there's a Mishnah in the Darim. Hareani alecha cherem. If a person says, all my possessions are prohibited for you to use. Hamodar asur. The one who is the subject of this nether is asur. Hareata alai cherem. If a person says, all your possessions are prohibited on me, hanoder asur. The one who said it is prohibited. Hareani alecha v'ata alai. If two people say, I'm making a vow right now that you could never benefit from me. And as soon as I said it, you say, and I'm making the vow that you cannot benefit from me. Obviously, these people are very upset at each other, right? So now, I will never come into your house. I will never ask you for anything. I don't want to see you. I'm not going to invite you for the wedding.
Babylonians.
So now, Shnei Masurim Zeh B'Zeh. Look at this. Look what Mishnah says. Shnei Masurim Zeh. That's it. They both are prohibited to benefit from other person's possession. Umutarim B'Shel Ole Bavel. And they're allowed to drink from the well of Ole Bavel.
So really, okay.
So you see, right, it's against Rab Nachman. Because Rab Nachman held that all Jews are equal partners in a well of Bavel. If that would be so,
Why would it be?
then we would not be able to drink from this well anymore.
Because they each own part of it.
Because we are equal partners in it. So it's like this. Let's just read this till the end. Umutarim b'shel ole Bavel v'asurim b'shel oto ha'ir. They are not, if they live in the city and that city has a city-wide well, that they're not allowed to use. Because in their city, that well belongs to everyone in the city. Each one of them make a part. But in the Ole Bavel well, but that well that's between Israel and Iraq, they are permissible. And then it says, Ve'elu hein devarim shel Ole Bavel. Now, there are other things that belong to Ole Bavel. Harabai, the mountain on which Beit HaMikdash was standing. Halishkot, all the rooms in Beit HaMikdash. Vazarot, and all the courtyards. Ubor shel emtza haderech, and the well that's in the middle of the way. Ve'elu hein shel oto ha'ir. And these are the things that belong to the people in the city. Harechov, the street, Ubet HaKnesset, and the shul. Ubet HaMerchatz, and the bathhouse. V'hi amart, and now concludes the question. And if you want to tell me, Bira Jeshutvi, if you want to tell me that well between the two countries, Israel and Iraq, that Jews maintain and use, it belongs to Shutfim. What does Shutafim mean? Shutfim. Shutaf is a partner. It belongs to partners. Amai mutar. Why is it mutar? Vatnan. We learned in the Mishnah. Shutafim shnadru anozeh asurim. If two partners, they made a nether not to benefit from each other, they are surim likanes lachatzer. They're not allowed to enter the courtyard, each other backyard. V'lerchotz bebor, and to bathe. No, lerchotz means to bathe. Lerchitza is to bathe in the bath. Lerchotz in the
Because
bath.
it belongs to everyone. Oh, so all these things are restricted on.
Right. Look what he's going to say now. Lerchotz bevor asur. But hacha b'ma'askin limalot mebor. To go down and to bathe yourself in the well is prohibited because you are using my water. But to take out from the well, once I take it out, then I'm not prohibited. Why?
Because it's collectively owned by everyone.
Even though no, if it would be collectively owned by everyone, if we're equal partners in it, then we would not be able to use it.
Because you're owning the water that you're.
Because once you isolated certain water, now you made it only yours. Even though while it's in the well, we don't know what's yours, what's mine. So therefore, for me to go down and bathe in it would constitute me using your water. But once I take out some water for myself, now I have zero of your water in my jar. It's all mine. So the only
Can't you say the part that the person's using is his part, not the other guy's part?
when he's taking a bath,
Yeah.
it's hard to say that because it's a mixture. You can say that. Whereas when you separate, it's not mixed anymore. Whatever's in the jar is here, and whatever is you could point. This is yours, and this is mine. But once you submerge in the everyone's water, you can't point to anything. I see what you want to say. You want to say, even though I am in the water, I just want to say that whatever water touches my body, with my body, that's mine. You want to say that?
Yeah.
What doesn't want to say that? I know it's on an intellectual level, in the concept, you could probably say that. You could say that, right?
I would think so, yeah.
But because water constantly replenishes itself, it moves from your body out and back in, you can't say that, I think.
Okay.
But you see how Gemara was splitting hairs. Gemara will say, there's a difference. Over there, it still belongs to everyone. Once I said, but Rashi explains over here that the only way we could say this, it would say yesh breira. Remember we were learning about breira. Breira means, can I say later, then this is what belonged to me, even while it was mixed. Over here, the only way to say this is because of yesh breira. Meaning, once I isolate it, and now I say inside, it's everyone's. But once I isolate it's mine, that's the only way to say it is if I hold yesh breira. But yesh breira is machloket itself. Some don't hold it as yesh breira. So Gemara wants to say now that Rav Nachman holds yesh breira. Yesh breira. Gemara is going to, let's do quickly. Let's get to the Mishnah. Gemara says, Rav Nachman holds yesh breira, v'sova Rav Nachman yesh breira. Now we're going to bring a source that Rav Nachman himself says there's no breira. So if the whole answer right now only makes sense if Rav Nachman holds a breira, if I could prove to you right now that Rav Nachman doesn't hold a breira, it's a problem. So Gemara says, "Va'atnan ha'achin ha'shutfim kishechayoven bekablon peturin b'maser behemo kishechayoven b'maser behemo peturin bekablon." Because there is a Mishnah in Masechet Bechorot like this, that there is concept of maser behemo, a tie 1/10 of animals. Every 10th animal you have to separate. Well, there's halacha that it has to be belonging to one person. If the flock belongs to shutfim, to two partners, you don't separate maaser behema. Now, what if? Now, there's also halacha about machzit shekel that you have to pay kalbon, because the original machzit shekel, half of a shekel that was collected from every Jew for korbanot. That was sufficient, but eventually with inflation, the machzit shekel that people gave was not the same. So Chachomim added on a additional payment for machzit shekel called kalbon. And over there, there's a halacha. Let's say a person gives machzit shekel for someone else. How many kalbons does he add? Does he add one because he is one person? He just pays for others. Or does he add for every person that he's paying for? So we're saying that he pays only one because he is paying for it. So it says over here that two brothers inherited from their father. If they divided everything among themselves, then they paid Ma'aseh Sheni because now their flock is not shutfim, is not partnership, they're separate. If it's not partnership, they're separate, they pay only one kalbon. But if they didn't separate it, they own it in partnership, then they don't pay Ma'aseh Sheni, but they pay two kalbons. So it says like this, Ha'achin ha'shutvin, brothers who were partners, kishechayon b'kalbon, peturim ma'aseh sheni. If these two things don't go together, if they chayav in kalbon, they're patur from ma'aseh sheni. Because kishechayon ma'aseh sheni, but if they chayav in ma'aseh sheni, they're patur from kalbon. V'amar Rav Anan,
What's called again?
It's an extra payment from us.
for machzah shekel, you have to add in some money because of inflation. Rav Anan, lo shanu ele shecholku gedayim kineged tloyim, with tloyim kineged gedayim. That's only if they literally separated every animal. Gedayim is goats, tloyim is sheep. They separated all the sheep, and only one will take only sheep, one will take only goats. Aval cholku gedayim kineged gedayim, with tloyim kineged tloyim. But if they mix and match. Omer zeo chelko hamagio mishar shana ulekach. Then we say it's a breda. If they separated it, when they mix it, we say it's a breda, and it's and they are not shutfim. But Rav Nachman Omer afilu cholko gedayim keneged gedayim with loyim keneged loyim ein Omer ze chelko hamagio mishar shana ulekach. So Rav Nachman argues. He says that there's no breda. So it comes out that since Rav Nachman said there's no breda, we need another answer before. We can't use the answer that's based on breda for Rav Nachman. Ela de kuli alma bira de hefkerahu. So we're changing. Really, everyone holds that it's hefker. The water in the well is hefker for everyone. Ela hacha b'magbiya mitzil lechaveru kamifligi. But there's a different machloket. If someone picks up a lost object for his friend, marasor kana or marasor lo kana. So the concept about picking up a lost object for your friend like this. Let's say I'm walking on the street and I see money. Money, halacha is whatever money you find, it's yours because there's no siman. You could find quarter or you could find $1,000. You keep it. Let's say I pick it up for my friend. Halacha is like this: as soon as you pick up money from the hefker, it belongs to you. But there is a question in Masechet B'Metzia, what if I pick it up for my friend? So some say, your friend, when I pick it up, my friend is koneh, because I have in mind for him. But others say, no, your friend is not koneh, you koneh. Because when I pick it up, he doesn't even know about it. Rashi over there explains, since he doesn't know about it, he can't be koneh. You cannot be, you're not
How can you pick up for your friend? Doesn't understand.
You pick it up, but you say, at
But
the
it
end of the
doesn't
day,
belong to him, right?
it's
Oh, he
hefker.
lost.
You have in mind, it's for him. Oh, this would be good for this person.
So you just
You just have in mind.
think, oh, I see. I thought
You're making a kinyan for your friend. Kinyan means you're picking up as a kinyan. So there's machloket here. Rav Nachman and Rav Sheshet, they have same machloket there. Rav Nachman holds that you could pick up for your friend, and Rav Sheshet don't. So that's why over here, water is really hefker to everyone. No one holds that it's shutfim. No one holds that we all equally own the water all that are golden. It's really hefker. But Rav Sheshet, who said that once I pick it up, it's mine, he holds that you cannot pick up hefker for your friend. And Rav Nachman, who said that it belongs to you right away, is because he holds that you could pick up hefker for your friend.
Moving fast.
almost done.
It looks like on Hanukkah we're gonna have to bring some food, make a scene.
This is like last.
Let's try to finish. Next, we have one
That's it. We're almost done. That's it.
block.
One block. One block.
No.
What's the black part?
Black blood. You know black blood. Your customers are black bloods.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Either